Hey, baby, how you doing? Anyway, with that dumbass joke out of the way, welcome back to another reaction video. Today we'll be reacting to the Demogorgon vs Pyramid Head. Who would win? In all honesty, I would say maybe Pyramid Head, but you know, you never know. Also, I just like to mention, I don't know if any of you guys remember that, but a few videos ago I mentioned that I was extraordinarily happy about one thing that happened to me, and essentially that is I finally have contact again with my little brother after 10 years. Well, technically half brother, but you know, for me he's just a brother anyway, regardless if he has a different dad or whatever. But anyway, that was the reason why I was so happy and still am. But the rest is private at the moment still. But let's just start the video now.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the 1v1 series and our 5th match in the second round. If you do enjoy today's video, consider subscribing. Today we're going to be using our 4 different categories to rank.
Not gonna lie, but I'm
The
actually
first category
considering
is called equipment.
subscribing.
This category comprises a simple aspect of the characters,
Sorry about
considering
that.
their clothing or armor, their weaponry or lack of, and finally their power. Simple. The second category is called speed. This category looks at their agility, movement speed, attack speed, and proficiency with performing their power.
Also, since he mentions this in every video,
this category details the killer's ability to fight.
Wait, I'll actually pause for a second. Currently, if you there's like an event going on in the Dead by Daylight game, something about the whole, I think it was Saw Appreciation Day or something. But if you actually write boop in the redeem code for the featured section of the store, you actually get a free head cosmetic for Meg, which you can bet your ass that I'm gonna be using specifically on her, or with her, cause I actually really like the pig.
Looking at their core strength, their resistance capability, and their endurance.
Also, that's something
Finally,
that my buddy Twisted mentioned to me.
This is where we look into the lore and identify the things or people that this killer has already previously faced, and make a judgment based off of that on how well they'd perform in a 1v1 as a result of prior skill or encounters. Each category is getting scored out of 10. This is for a total point score out of 40. Same as before, the higher number wins. With these scores and my own reasoning for each of the numbers,
honestly, I'm curious for the end of this video, because then he actually describes the fight, you know. That's the most interesting part.
The series being a search for the strongest killer in the game. Today we are seeing who is in a 1v1 fight, the Demogorgon, or the Executioner. I want to mention before we start this one that I'm going to add additional lore into the mix. As the lore is very limited for both of these characters in-game, we're going to be using a single film and a single season of the TV show for each of them to add a bit
Stranger
more to
Things,
each
by the
category,
way, for those of you who don't know.
Furthermore, in the film and the TV show we're using, both of our characters are seemingly immortal or unkillable, so for the purpose of this series we are saying this is not the case, otherwise it's just an infinite loop of taking each other down, so keep that in mind. Okay, let's begin with our first category, equipment. First off, for equipment, let's focus on Demogorgon. As Demo doesn't really have anything equipment-wise aside its portals, this isn't really an issue though, because really the Demogorgon is the equipment in itself. Its claws are its weapon and its skin is its armor, both of which are incredibly formidable. Its
gigantic weird-ass mouth filled with teeth would be a weapon,
prey, as well as its other weapon, its mouth or teeth I guess, which is described as a gaping mouth with needle-like teeth. If we look over to the show also to
or a vagina with teeth,
we can see that the skin is actually capable of making gunfire even from large arms completely redundant. And this is the same for any bladed weapons too, with the only one capable of piercing it being the powers of 11.
Yeah, I have to pause it here because there's something I actually have to say about the Demogorgon. And let's just say after after Twisted sent me a few choice images of the Demogorgon. Whenever I see it, I just think back to those images and go, oh, why? Anyway, thanks, Twisted.
Other Demo's power is its portals, which provide great potential
So
for
he's
map traversal
essentially
and
no
extra
longer
speed.
scary
Overall,
for
Demo
me
is
at
built
all.
as a creature of destruction. 10. Animalistic with supernatural influence. For Pyramid
Neat.
Head, we have another pretty interesting situation. Pyramid Head has as his main weapon a great knife, which is most definitely magical or supernatural in its ability to cut. In the film, we actually see Pyramid Head use this to cut through
Wait,
an
film?
incredibly thick
Don't you mean
steel
a
door
game?
in an instant. It is further a good weapon as it
Oh, well.
covers a lot of space with each swing. Pyramid Head's main armor is the pyramid on his head, which looks to be just a huge hunk of metal. In the films, when this is penetrated by other magical blades, it does cut through, but it doesn't go very far. So this is quite clearly a protective asset. Pyramid Head's skin in the film is further not exactly bullet or knife proof, but he doesn't seem to feel the pain or injury nearly at all. He also seems to have healing and regenerative elements to him. His power is quite multifaceted, and it allows him to draw trails in the ground of the trial, fire these trails through walls, and also Mori once he is hooked or caged enough. Again, in plain equipment, Pyramid Head has quite the getup. 10. And they're both quite different in how they reach this number, but I think they are
Solid
both quite
10
evidently
for
deserving
both.
of it. Okay, so on to speed. Despite Pyramid Head seeming like the clearly slower one here, we do have to consider the fact that despite his seemingly lower speed, he can still wield his weapon in an incredibly agile way and
Also,
actually swing it as fast as the demo can swing its claws. Also, based
if there
on
is a
DVD
Pyramid
movement
Head
speeds,
Head
they are
movie,
the same base speed of 4.6 meters per second. So really,
I
without
would say
using
that's
their
a movie I
powers,
should
up to
probably
here, they're
watch at some
actually on
point.
par. A big factor I want to mention, however, is the Demogorgon's shred ability, which to the best of my knowledge is the fastest movement in the game, at 18.4 meters per second, which is 460% the base movement speed. This in my eyes, along with its portals, both of which the demo seems incredibly effective with, I'm going to have to say a 10 for demo. I don't want to jump the gun, but demo literally has the fastest capable movement in the game. On the other hand, Pyramid Head still holds his own, as again he equals demo's base despite his oversized equipment. And this is emphasized even further by the fact that he can carve huge trails into the environment with ease. Pyramid Head is also incredibly proficient in his power and its usage. His name is the Executioner for a reason. He gets an 8.
Yes.
Only lower because relative to Demo, he simply isn't as quick. He can match him most of the way though, but when it comes to that shred, Demo gets bumped for sure. Okay, so
Watch
on
the
to
Demogorgon
efficiency.
get like a
Strength
7
for
in
the
something.
Demogorgon can maybe be indicated by the fact that its shred is capable of destroying a pallet, usually something that takes multiple hits for most killers. Further in the show, we see the Demogorgon tear through lots of different things like bricks and metal, again suggesting a good amount of strength, although it seems to be more based around attacking people and less to do with the thicker things, I guess. Resistance,
The
we touched on this a
thicker
bit, but
things.
the Demogorgon has very thick skin, and it is seemingly entirely resistant to bullets, knives, and everything it seems, aside from 11 and her powers. This suggests that because Pyramid Head also has a supernatural power though, that he would be entirely capable of piercing Demo's skin. Endurance-wise, I just have to say that Demo seems relentless. It doesn't seem to tire. The only time it slows down during the show is again when 11 pins it to the wall. Strength-wise, the best indicator we have for Pyramid Head is during the film when he lifts a person up with one hand with seemingly no reaction almost. He then
Seriously,
proceeds
that
to
sounds
pull
like a
all of their
movie I
skin
should
off
watch
in
at
one
some
tug
point.
before tossing them onto the ground. Further, of course, he is always lugging around both his weighty Pyramid Head and Great Knife, both of which must weigh a ton. I'm not overly sure how much, but it is undeniably a lot. In-game he can similarly lift survivors up during his Mori. Again, the fact that he can cut through metal in-game and also in the film. Resistance-wise, we touched on this a bit before, the fact that Pyramid Head seems to have a considerably high pain tolerance, maybe to the extent that he doesn't feel pain. It seems like one of those situations where the more pain or damage taken, the more he grows in power. Further, he seems to have a regenerative ability, so he's good on this front also. Finally, for endurance, he seems to never tire despite holding the knife and pyramid. Both are things he seems acquainted with in the films and never slow him down really, even when damage is taken. Pyramid Head is incredible in every aspect for this. He gets a 10. For Demo, however, I'm actually going to give it an 8, as I feel like Demo's intelligence or strategic capability is definitely lower. Despite its animalistic fighting style, and
So now
also
they're
the
the
fact that its
same-
thicker skin isn't going to be
are at
as
the same
effective
level
as
again.
it has been in other situations when against Pyramid Head's Great Knife. On to our final category of history. Let's start with Pyramid Head. In his film, we don't really see him fight anyone, but we do see him face one-on-one with different people he hunts down. Again, as mentioned before, he slices clean through a thick metal door. He shows he's capable
a movie
of
I should
movement
watch.
and a long reach despite his great knife. We further see bullets pierce him, which seemingly do very little. Finally, when he carries a woman in the film, she literally can't move whilst he's carrying her. He's practically a rock. He then skins her with a single hand. He's pretty formidable and, from what it seems, near unkillable. Demo actually kills a bunch of people in the show. Although a ton of them are defenseless scientists and stuff like that, it does also, however, survive both the claws of a bear trap, fire, bullets, and a baseball bat with nails. Further, at the end of season 1, it tears through a bunch of soldiers, and the rapid fire of bullets doesn't harm it in the slightest, seemingly. Really, for both here, it feels like a lot of speculation, but from what I'm seeing is that they're both effectively unbreakable and unstoppable. It's not really in question for the both of them. They're getting 10s together. These two are formidable when it comes to their histories, and honestly,
so
it's
they're
quite
equal.
hard to say otherwise. So, this brings the final scores to 38 to Demogorgon and 38 to Pyramid Head, so it's a draw. This means the winner will be decided by the description of the fight.
Yay!
The sirens of Midwich blasted through the air as the executioner's blade flew over his shoulder, crashing down onto the ground, inches from the head of the Demogorgon. It screamed back, the needles in their thousands, each sharp as ever. The Demo pounced, flying toward the executioner at considerable speed and crashing into its pyramid. Demo gripped its claws into the hunk of metal, slowly denting it as it crushed its monstrous hands together. Pyramid Head forced upward and let the tip pierce through the Demo's flesh. Demo roared even louder, slashing a claw down the executioner's arm. The executioner let out a guttural rattle, planting his blade into the cracked tiles of the courtyard and tossing up a stream of metal and barbed wire. It entangled with the Demogorgon, pinning it briefly. Pyramid Head used the opening, raising the blade and swinging it down with great ferocity. The blade flew down, whipping through the air just as the Demo broke free. It was too late though. The blade still caught its claws, cutting off a finger or two. Pyramid Head wasted no time and swung again. The Demo scuttled away, trying to reach a portal in the corner of the courtyard. Pyramid Head threw his blade down and clambered toward the creature, grabbing it by the legs and tugging it up to the surface, just as it had begun to tunnel. Demo flipped around, latching its mouth onto the executioner's fist. The executioner reached down for his blade, gripping it before slicing the Demo's grasp from him. They both stared at one another, bloody from their wounds. A thick fog flooded
Does the
area.
Demogorgon
When
even
it
have
appeared,
eyes, though?
They now both stood in the halls of the underground complex. Demo shrieked, leaping toward the executioner with confidence. Now it was on its home turf. The executioner fell back as Demo pinned him, and the relentless beast forcing its vile claws into his sides and belly. The pain fueled him. He threw it off, getting up and kicking it back, his blade flying and slicing more fingers. Demo crumpled to the ground, roaring still. The executioner raised his blade, high over his shoulder. Releasing it, it surged down, slamming so hard it passed right through the Demogorgon, slicing it in two, and rupturing the ground after it had done. The executioner took a steadied pose, his final judgment delivered. So, the executioner wins. This means he'll be moving on to the next round and fighting in the third heat. Here's the updated round 2 table. Alright, well that's going to do it for today.
Also, this is where I'll be ending the video, but what I did somehow realize during the video is that the handle for the giant knife of Pyramid Head is looks really like something phallic, aka a dildo. Just saying. Anyway, with that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video of whatever I'll be making. Also, I just woke up from a nap, so yeah, this was the first thing I decided to do. So yeah, bye!